Right. So my name is Christine Penny. I'm the Global Training and Author Services and Author Support Manager at Cambridge University Press. I've worked for Cambridge for a number of years now, and I do find it a great joy to be able to be working with people who are looking to get published, who are supporting people to get published, because I can think of well, maybe a few, but a few more exciting things in the world than seeing some of your work disseminated to the right hands, to the right people, really to make the world a better place. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to start with the slide presentation, and I'm going to bounce back and forth between my slides and the live demo. Like I said earlier, if you're just joining us, what this session is going to comprise of is a bit of content both in slides, and then it's going to be a live demo on RightsLink. So if you have access to that RightsLink, and if it is something that you manage as a librarian or an administrator at your institution, I highly recommend, if you have access to a computer right now, going to that email that you've received from RightsLink. It might also have like CCC on it. That's the Copyright Clearance Center. It's all the same thing. Yes, to kind of support you so you can more or less be doing this with me. Obviously, this is going to take some further steps than I'm going to go through today. But I'm really here today, actually, to set you up for success. And again, to repeat, this session is geared toward librarians and institutional administrators who are looking to firmly guide their RightsLink. If you are here for a refresher, that's great. Welcome. Hopefully this is old news to you, but I guess it never hurts to hear it twice, if not more than twice. But yes, you are more than welcome. So, to start us off, I'm going to talk a little bit about what open access is and what transformative agreements are. Now, as librarians and administrators, you are likely very familiar with that already. But just in case, I want to make sure that all of us are on the same page. We are all talking about the same thing. So I'm going to go over that very briefly, just to get us all in the same place. And then I'm going to move into a live demo of RightsLink. I'm going to show you some things to look for and what to do, along with kind of, I don't want to say tips and tricks, but kind of some behind the scenes stuff that I have found useful in my own navigation and learning about the platform, which hopefully is actually not that difficult for you. I was surprised in a good way when I learned this platform that it's actually not that complex. So yay for us. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about ways in which we at Cambridge are trying to support you, and ways in which you can support your authors at your institution or would-be authors to get them to learn about your transformative agreement and all the value that it offers for them. Because ultimately, really, this is offering them basically a free opportunity to get published, which is, I don't know, not always the case. I recently spoke with an author in Spain who said she had paid, she was speaking in American dollars, US dollars, she had paid $3,000 to get an article published, which to me is a lot of money. And maybe she had that sitting around, but I think if I were in her shoes, that would not have been easy to part with. So we're really hoping to make publishing more accessible to everybody. Okay, let's get going. So this is who we are at Cambridge. Ultimately, yeah, I'm sure you've heard of us. I mean, I believe we're the oldest academic publisher in the world. Thank you, King Henry VIII. And we have been going ever since he said, hey, let's maybe publish a Bible or something. But at this point, our academic work, and we're talking specifically today about journals and journal publication, all of our articles that we published are founded on the basis of our integrity and our ethics. So once it comes to us and we have decided to publish it, we are staking our claim and forming our value around it and say, look, we stand behind this work, and we want the world to know about this work. We are a university press. We are a part of the University of Cambridge, as you can see by our little logo. And what we publish is meant to benefit the scholarly community. We do not publish regurgitated ideas. We're really not interested in copycat AI written stuff. That's not for us. We're interested in unique, potentially world-changing ideas. And that is a massive factor into our decision making when it comes to what we publish in our journals. We currently publish more than 450 peer-reviewed journals in every single subject, which I find really exciting, both in the humanities and the sciences. So hopefully there's something for everyone. Obviously, I cannot tell you which one is the right one for your authors. Maybe they're asking you. I like to say to the authors that you are the one that knows your own work best. So you are going to be the one best positioned to choose the right journal, the right fit for you, because we have quite a few. And no, I do not have every single one memorized, as nice as that would be. Of our 450 journals, over 60% of them are in a partnership with academic societies and institutions. I'm going to point out a little bit later about partnerships. I had a really great example come through the other day with a consortium in Africa, which was really exciting. And it was really cool to be able to kind of pair the institutions with local university publishers that we publish on behalf of. Yeah, but ultimately, over 50% of what we publish in our journals is open access. And that's as of right now. Ultimately, our goal is to publish everything open access by 2030. We very much stand behind that. It is absolutely an institutional I can't call it a trademark, but an institutional value that we have at Cambridge University Press, because we do believe that this should be accessible. This work should be accessible to everyone, no matter where you are in the world, no matter how much money you have, that this should be seen and available. Okay, so ultimately, what is open access? And again, just to clarify, hopefully you do know what this is, but if you don't, just in case, open access means that what we publish is freely available to readers at no cost, no matter where they are in the world. There are quite a variety. I'm sure you've heard about different journals that are gold, that are hybrid, that are green, that are, I don't know, pink. I'm just kidding. But there are a variety of journals and what and how they publish. Some of our journals only publish kind of the hybrid model. So some of it is open access and some of it is not open access. So it kind of is more subscription based. But ultimately, this is more or less paid for by your institution's payment for your transformative agreement. Now, what makes the transformative agreement unique as a model, if you will, is that by us giving you access for your money, we are also saying, okay, great. Now, if you have authors at your institution who are accepted by our journals for publication, we will publish those articles if they choose to be published open access for free, essentially. It's a lovely give and take. We feel it really benefits everybody. Yeah, it was cool. I recently did a presentation in Texas, and a PhD student asked, what are the downsides of open access? And I turned to my colleague and we looked at each other and we could think of none. We were like, we have no downsides of not being able to share your work with other people. So just again, to make clear, a transformative agreement, which I am assuming your institution has, because you're here with us today, is a symbiotic relationship wherein you have paid for access to our content. And as a result, we will say, okay, if you have an author who is willing to publish with us and we have accepted it and wants to publish this open access, we will take care of that article processing charge, that $3,000 that I mentioned that normally comes through. Article processing charge is often, we call it an APC. So if that comes up a little bit later, that's what that is, if you're not familiar with that. And what I'm going to show you today is how to manage those funding requests in your organization's, in your institution's account on RightsLink. Okay, so again, I'm assuming that by your being here today, that your institution has a transformative agreement with Cambridge University Press. Now, just to clarify, this is something that I often tell authors, would-be authors and researchers, that this is where you should look to find your institution's transformative agreement, all of the elements that are listed. You can go to Eligibility Checker on Cambridge Core. If I have time, I'll show that to you later. To be honest with you, often what I also do, I just Google it. I literally Google Cambridge Eligibility Checker, and there it is. And what you can do, you just go to the drop-down menu for your location, excuse me, and you find your institution. And then when you click that, view your publishing agreement, you can see everything that's available. Like if it's a full agreement, if it's a partial agreement, for the most part, it tends to be full, especially in your area of the world. But underneath that will be a massive list of journals that your transformative agreement covers in terms of publication. So that list is ideally what your authors should be choosing from if they are intending to submit, intending to get accepted, as most are, and intending to hopefully publish through them through your transformative agreement. Okay, so here we go. I am going to clarify for you more or less the publishing process, where your location lands in our publishing process. You're probably familiar with it, but if not, hopefully this is a little bit of healthy background for you. And then I'm going to show you what happens. Okay, so to be really clear, this process covers from, the moment, I don't want to say the moment of the inception of the idea that the author has for their article, but all the way through article publication. So mostly you and the author, probably just the author, and maybe colleagues, are working together on a manuscript in part one right here. And maybe you're involved in some of their research. I don't know, how very exciting. And then from there, the author would get on and submit their manuscript under a journal. And I will show you that later where they can do that under any journal at Cambridge. Okay, and then from there, that work that the author has prepared, their article, will sit with the peer reviewers and the publisher, or the editor, at Cambridge, and there will be a lot of conversation back and forth with them. This does take, tends to be quite a lot of time. I struggle to give timelines because everybody's situation is unique. But then from there, after this lengthy back and forth, often after changes, it's the most common thing for there to be changes, that is when a publication decision will come through, which is listed right here, from Cambridge and say, yes, we will publish this in this journal that you've selected. And from there, they are sent a link to either seek funding or to pay their APC. What they do as an author, they click seek funding from institution, and that gets sent through to your university, to you under RightsLink, and this is where this falls. This is exactly where we're talking today, and it is ultimately up to you whether or not to fund this. You can make this very easy on yourself and automate it, which we highly recommend as much as possible throughout the world. I would say the majority of you that I'm speaking with today very likely have what are called a full agreement, which means that we will publish anything that comes through. There's no maximum, there's no limit, minimum or maximum, and there's no limit. So like if you've published 5 that's all we're going to publish this year. No, that's not the case. I mean, if your university is prolific and publishing 150 articles, great, we'll take them. Sounds good to me. Okay. So this is where we've landed. Now, RightsLink is the kind of name of our platform. This is where it happens. And what we're about to talk about is how to do this article processing charge, this APC. And you can either do a touch-free workflow, which again, basically just means that's automated, or not touch-free. You do have the option to make this not touch-free, but I will say every institution is loaded into RightsLink as automatically touch-free, again, to make this basically easiest for everybody. But if you would prefer to physically manage this on your own, that is your right. You are more than welcome to physically approve or deny. Again, touch-free is the automatic approval. It's entirely up to you. Now, I do often get a question from many people surrounding eligibility. A lot of institutions, in fact, require that if the author of this particular article submits it through and it comes through to their institution, that they have to have submitted with their institutional email address. Not all institutions require that. You don't have to. That's entirely up to you. But for their part, Cambridge does their due diligence with every single article to verify that there is eligibility on behalf of the author to get their content published through the transformative agreement at your institution that they have essentially claimed or sought funding for. We do that due diligence on your behalf, which hopefully is a helpful thing for you, less for you to do. So I'm about to go through all these steps for you, and that's what we're going to do right now. First, we're going to talk about locating the email that you've been sent from RightsLink. If you have never logged in before, then we're going to log in. Then I want you to add the contacts of your colleagues who are co-managing this with you, especially if you are not the only one in your library managing this. Then I'm going to show you how to turn on auto approvals to make your life easier. I'm going to show you how you can set notifications, maybe for when an article has been approved to be published, or if you've met a certain threshold. It's got a lot of options. I'm going to show you where to locate the report button, and we also highly recommend that you bookmark the page so you're not struggling to find it and digging it out. Okay, so from there, I'm going to move to my screen. I want to make sure that everyone can see okay. So if you have not found that email at this point, I would highly recommend it. I actually can't give you your login link to this page because I'm functioning with a different one, but you should be able to find it. I actually have logged into RightsLink kind of from the front-facing CCC page. Yes. So I'm logging in with my email address with the password that I have, if it will let me. And there it is. So this is what you should see when you log in. This is my institutional portal. This is my institution, CUP University, which is fake. It doesn't exist, which is fun. Now, you've got explanations for both approve or deny. And those, if these had not been dealt with, if this has not been automated, will be right here, and you would either have to click approve or deny. But in our case, all of these have already been approved, and this is the history of the approvals that we have already done. Wow, it looks like we've approved a lot of articles. How great. And it also shows you who has done that approving. That has been done in this case by Jacob Billing 2, which of course is false. We've also got the AE test touch free, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Now, when I talk about billing profiles, I'm specifically talking about the profiles at your institution. In this case, I'm going to click this, and I'm going to see, I'm not sure why it opens in a new window, but that's what it does. This brings me over to, as you can see, we were already here, the billing profiles page. It's all the same thing, okay? So here, this is the particular profile. This has all of my information. This is all of the loaded information that RightsLink has that you probably gave to your salesperson. RightsLink has automatically loaded this. You cannot change this content on your own because it is your organizational contact. But what you can change and what you can add are the people at your institution who have individual profiles to manage this at your institution. Right now, Andy Edwards is able to manage this content at our institution, okay? And this is where, this is what I mean when I say add all contacts. Add the people who need to see this content in order to do the managing. So if there are 2 or 3 of you, add those other people in. Get them profiles so that they can be logged in. This shows you profile attributes, invoice currency, like this is assuming I'm in the UK, which we are. Yes. Now, something else that I want you to notice, in this case, we have a full transformative agreement, which means that anything that comes through will get covered. Don't be alarmed when it says number of APC tokens remaining. It says 99, okay? It looks like I've used 1, which apparently had the value of over 2,000 pounds. Fine. If you have a limited number based on your agreement, this is a great place to actually see where your limited number are. But I'm going to guess that the majority of you, this should not matter. If you end up publishing from your institution over 100, it is so easy for us to give you more tokens. Don't sweat that. I don't want to say it's meaningless because it's not meaningless, but this number is arbitrary, and this is just what we start with. I will say it's pretty rare for an institution to publish 100 articles, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yes, feel free to reach out to us if you're getting nervous about that. Yeah, and then from there, this is a publisher note. This comes through from the publishers, and this is maybe perhaps what's required. If you also want to make a note to your authors when they've submitted, you're welcome to do that. You just go to your workflow workflow, and then you would click it to edit it. Because this is from the publisher, you can't change that, but you can change this. And perhaps you'd like to write a message of, thank you for your submission. Congratulations on your acceptance for publication. I don't know, call it whatever you like. Okay. So hopefully that is a useful thing. That's not necessarily necessary to do. You do not have to do that if you don't want to. But if you did, you might want to click next and go through, and that's how that would go. I'm not going to save that, so I'm going to click cancel. I do want to keep going. I do see that there might be a question in the Q&A. Okay. I'll pause right here actually and answer this question. Somebody's asked, what's the difference between a transformative agreement and a read and publish agreement? To my knowledge, nothing. Read and publish is kind of the old language, and that language, at least here at Cambridge, and I think in the publishing world in general, has changed to the word transformative. But to my understanding, there is no difference. They're basically the same thing. Sometimes it's called read and publish. That's about all the information that I can give you. I hope that's helpful. Okay, so we're back on our profiles here, and hopefully you've loaded everything. Let's go back to billing profiles, and that's where everything is. This is all of our content. Now, if you want to have automatic approvals for all of the content that comes through, this is where you would tick that box. So if it's you and 3 other people at your institution who have billing profiles, what you would do is you would tick these little boxes right here to make sure that anything that comes through to your profile is automatically approved. In this case, whatever these profiles are that have been set up, not by me, but by a colleague, that says not touch free, I'm not actually going to tick that box because apparently they don't want auto approvals, because touch free, right, means auto approve. But here, this one does say touch free. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to tick that box. Selecting this box will automatically approve any manuscript submitted for funding under this billing profile. And I'm going to click, yep, I want that. And there it is. It's ticked, it's done, it's ready to go. You should do that with all of the billing profiles, to make your life easier. Now, if you're nervous because you don't know what's coming through, don't be. You can easily get a notification by clicking this. So if something has come through and you want to make sure that you're getting a notification that something has been auto approved, great. Create the notification. That's no problem. Select the contact. I'm going to select Andy Edwards. Remember, he was the only contact that we had. And then you can get a notification for a number of APC tokens that are used. I mean, whatever, that's up to you. Maybe if you want to see if you've published 5 things and you get a notification, no problem. If you want to see that something has been approved for publication or invoicing, if you will, even though there's technically no invoice because it's free, right? You would tick that and go down here and click save. Okay, I'm not going to save that right now, but that's what you can do. Feel free to play with this at your will. It's an automated system, so hopefully it's a useful thing. I'm going to go back to billing profiles. I think I've covered everything I can here. All of these funding requests here are visible to you. These are all of the funding requests that have come through our institution. It's the complete history, which in a way is exciting. I will navigate over here to author fees. There are none that need to be paid because, of course, they're being paid 100% by your transformative agreement. And then, now, what Cambridge does do, they do send you, librarians, administrators, a report, a quarterly report of the number of articles that have been published under your transformative agreement. But if you don't want to wait for that, or you want more information about other things, this is the place to go. Go to reports. You can get as specific as possible. If you want to know by one particular author, if you want to know what's come through, if you want to know about order date, look at this. You've got year to date, custom date range. Like, you have so many opportunities to make this what you want it to be. Okay. And yeah, that's what is available to you. I see there's another question in the Q&A. Is it possible to add a personal note to a request? That is a good question, Tamara. I'm not sure. I kind of don't think so because it's automated. I do think it might be possible to attach something once it's gone through, but to an individual, I don't think so. But it's a great question. Yeah, if I find out that answer in brief as my eyes come across it, I'll let you know. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, so that's reporting as far as RightsLink goes and the publication goes. The only other things that I want to go over with you, if you get stuck and if you are not sure, this awesome location is so helpful. I have gone here myself to learn more about how this is working and what I should do. Of course, this is where you can update your password, sign out, etc. But go to useful links and go to the Institution Resource Center. Highly recommend. This is for you. You can even see their support for researchers, so you can guide your authors here if you want to. But if you need more information, this is a PDF. I just watched this video myself, and it is quite thorough. It does talk particularly about managing funding, particularly, for instance, when authors need to pay. In your case, obviously, that won't apply, but it does kind of give you more information. This is a really, really great place to find answers if you're really stuck. And then ultimately, if you can't find an answer in this Knowledge Center, please feel free to be in touch with us. Right. I think that is about the majority of the information that I can give you about funding. The only other thing that I'm going to point out to you too, one thing we've done, and I'll show this to you in a little bit when I talk about further resources, we at Cambridge have also made particular videos as a playlist on YouTube. Also, in case you get stuck, they're pretty clear, they're pretty straightforward, they're very quick. So that is totally available to you. This is our training page, and I'll show you in another time. But we have a great set of playlists, and I've got this full playlist that I've crafted. This is a link to our session that we've done. And then from there, these are all available for you. Ricardo, thank you for your question. Is there going to be a certificate? No, we are not providing certificates for librarians to come to our training. Not today. Thank you. So that is available to you, and I'll come back to this page when I talk about our channel yet again, but hopefully it is a valuable resource for you and for your would-be authors, because we've got a lot going on here. In the meantime, I'm going to switch back to this, because this is, I only have a little bit left to say on RightsLink in particular. Right, so we've talked about adding all contacts. I think I've gone over that. We've talked about auto approve and how to do that. This is a great example of if you don't have automatic approval and what would happen. I didn't point out that the fact that these buttons on that page are actually grayed out because the auto approval is there. But if you wanted to manually approve, this is what it would look like. Also, if you do choose to manually approve and you have to click deny for, or choose to deny for whatever reason that is, you must give a reason that's automated with this within the system. It's forced you. You have to be clear, and it is specific to that individual submission. Okay, and this is why. For instance, in this case, maybe your institution is very particular and says that you need a particular CC BY license per your agreement with your author. I have no idea. Whatever your agreement is with your professors, faculty, etc. But that is what is required here. And if maybe they missed it, you need to insert that. That's no problem. You just need to be clear about why the denial came through. Okay. Right. Could you share a link to the YouTube channel? Yes, I will. Absolutely. And actually, I can do that in brief. Actually, while you're asking, I might as well do it in case I forget. It's quite simple. It's Cambridge Academic Training. And I'm going to type the answer here, and hopefully everyone can see it. And that is a great link. I hope that's a useful thing. And I can put it in the chat to everybody right here. This is the YouTube channel. Explore at your leisure. Have a grand old time. There's a lot there. Okay, so I'm going to take a breather from there. Yeah, and I'm just going to bounce back to my slideshow. Okay. Now, I want to move into the realm of cool. Hopefully you know how to handle things behind the scenes. It shouldn't be that difficult, but if you're still getting a little stuck, feel free to be in touch with us or explore on that RightsLink page that I showed you. But the other thing that you need to do, hopefully to make this a successful thing at your institution, is to promote your agreement. Authors need to know. So often, authors have no idea. And authors also, I've been discovering in the last couple of years, a lot of people aren't especially familiar with the publication process. So you as librarians can be an amazing catalyst to get them, well informed about how to do this because it is so critical for their careers. Something else for this too, we at Cambridge are really keen to support you and them. So this is, again, a very symbiotic relationship. So this is what we've got for you. We wanted to recommend that you naturally market and promote this. Mention this where you can. If you have channels or communication, maybe it's an email newsletter. I don't know that many people are functioning with a bulletin board these days, but maybe they are. Maybe you find that a lot of people come to your location to do some quiet study. Post something. You're more than welcome to print our content, which I'm about to show you in a moment. But it's a great thing. Also, try to meet authors where they're at. How are authors getting in touch with you? Think about what their main points of communication are. Maybe you're finding actually at your institution that, maybe your authors are really on TikTok, alive and well. I have no idea. Consider kind of making that connection there, even if it's a little challenging. I've actually seen some really incredible campaigns from librarians on the social media space. It just, I don't know, goes to show how clever so many librarians are that they do not get enough credit for. Yeah, and then obviously link your agreement as much as you can to all of your communication. I mean, heck, you could even put it in your byline for your email signature if you like. That's entirely up to you. Again, it's very accessible if you go to that eligibility page that I was just mentioning. Something else that I've seen be really successful at institutions. You very likely have a library page with kind of the catalog of all of the content that you have from all of the different publishers across the world, the stuff that you're hosting. If you make an author page or an author hub, they are far more likely to engage with that and drive those people toward there. So you can actually communicate with them particularly well. Highly recommend doing that if you have any sort of ability to do so. This is a librarian toolkit. If you've got your phone, you are more than welcome to use this QR code, which hopefully gets you there. This is also, again, this should be a live link that you're going to be able to click when you open this PDF. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, look at that. Actually, I'm going to see if I can copy it live. I don't know if I can. Nope, I can't. It won't let me. Sorry. If I get a chance when I'm not in this, I will put it in the chat yet again, and hopefully that's a useful thing. Looks like we've got another question in the Q&A. Can you remind us where you made the note to authors who are automatically approved? Yes, that was under the, I'm trying to think, billing profiles. Yes, at the bottom of the billing profiles page. It kind of had kind of communication factors. I hope that's a useful thing for you. And if you can't find it, ask me again, and we can maybe we can review it at the end. Yeah, ask me again if you don't find it, if that is incorrect. Okay, let's keep going here. So this toolkit is useful for you. It's made for you. Please use these marketing materials as you see fit. Okay, we'll review it at the end then. Cool. I'm going to power through this and we'll get back there. Thanks so much, Suzanne. Yeah, actually, I'll leave that. Okay, I'm going to go back here now. In brief, Cambridge Core is where we host absolutely everything. And I wanted to really, really briefly give you a bit of an overview about how Core works. You are very likely familiar with it already, but on behalf of your authors, I hope this is a useful thing. So this is a great place to search a keyword. I could search Bertolt Brecht. My background is in theater. So if I wanted to look him up, this is what could come up. If I wanted to look up, this is another location. If I only wanted to look up certain things to discover content and subject, topic, or keyword, it's a great location. Also, browsing, highly recommend. Super easy. This is all of the subjects that you've got. You've got a subject hub. The other thing I want to point out is this is kind of a header, kind of the key chunks of content that we have on Cambridge Core. And if you're looking at journals, this is a great place to go. But for authors, of course, they're probably looking for open access journals if they want to use your transformative agreement and get that published. So this is the easiest place to go. You can go to the Open Access Hub. It's a great page, by the way. I was really impressed when I first clicked on it. And then again, this is the easiest way. Look at your open access journals. They're all listed right here. They're either totally open access or partially open access. Now, this is available to me. I haven't even logged in yet. So I'm going to recommend that if you have not logged in, that you're going to do that right now. I'm going to log in right here. I'm going to go to login. And I'm going to show you what this looks like as you, as an institution. I'm not going to go deep into it. Sorry, just need to load that password. But I want to point out to you that your view is unique and different as an organization, as an institution, from what an individual account has. Okay? So, in brief, this is what should be visible to you if you are guiding an author toward open access journals and how to submit. This is where you do it. I'm going to repeat this in just a minute. I'm going to click open access journals and let's pretend that they're in neuroscience. Wow, how convenient. Perhaps Actus Neuropsychiatrica, is good for them. I'm going to click that. And in general, and I'm not going to go over all the details with this right now, this gives a ton of information about the journal. But if an author wants to submit a manuscript to Cambridge University Press for consideration for publication, this is where you do it. This submit manuscript button right under the search button on every journal page is the place to do it. From there, they're taken to our online peer review system and it kind of goes through from there. We're back to kind of parts 1 and 2 that I was talking about earlier in the publication process, but this is the place to do it on every single journal page on Cambridge Core. Now, last but not least, for you as a librarian, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click My Account. You'll see this My Account section. This is visible to literally anybody who has an account on Cambridge Core, which is free to do. That's no problem at all. But this is unique to your institution. So if you want to look at your MARC records, your KBART records, your usage stats, etc., all of that content lives here. This is not a Cambridge Core session, so I'm not going to go over all of that today, but hopefully that is a useful location for you to know. Right. Let's go to here. Now, when I send these slides through to you, they will be a PDF. Hopefully this is a useful thing, just in case people have questions. This is the My Account. This is available. This is visible by anybody who has an individual account. And these things are clarifying for you all of those subsections of Core. And that's, again, a great resource. Okay, and then just to repeat, this is a screenshot of another journal called the Journal of Child Language. It says submit your article. Can't miss it. This is where authors would go to submit. And I also want to make you aware and clear that for authors, when they have gone through the whole process of peer review, acceptance, and blah, 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 and they've got an acceptance letter in their email, they will get a link to RightsLink. They will get a login information bit. And what they need to do, they need to choose either seek funding from institution or pay the APC. If they want to pay it, go right ahead. That is entirely up to them. But if they want to use your transformative agreement, they need to click seek funding from institution. And that is when it goes over to you. Okay, that's what it looks like for them. Okay, and in brief, this is a bit of a repeat that I said earlier, that we do provide quarterly publishing updates to let you know what's going on at your institution, which hopefully is an exciting thing and will be blowing up by the time you get your next report. Yeah, it gives you a lot of info. The other thing that we do as well, and I'm not going to go deep into this, some authors have published with us before a transformative agreement was made with their institution, but in retrospect, we have been going back after these authors and saying, hey, would you like to publish with us open access under the new transformative agreement? And we are taking care of that. That is no work on you. It is no problem for you at all. There's nothing really for you to consider. But yes, that is up to us, and we're doing a lot of outreach, author outreach, and it's a pretty high success rate because we're finding that people have begun to see the value of open access and publishing open access. We at Cambridge do, at least in my experience, I feel that a high value that we bring as publishers and editors is our ability to connect with our authors especially well. There's really, really high communication, which I think is great. Yeah, I hope that's a useful thing. I'm also going to point out, and I'll point this out later as well, the OA queries inbox is a useful and valid thing. We communicate with that inbox very often. The OA queries at cambridge.org is great if you're ever stuck. Now, this is something else that we offer authors, which you're more than welcome to point your authors toward. All of this content is available on the Cambridge Core site, which is hopefully a useful thing. I'm not going to navigate to that in particular right now, but there is an author hub. You can't miss it. I'm going to show you the services page in just a second. Yes, we also offer a training series. As of right now, I only have one set of training series offers going on, but we do a series of trainings for authors that are deeply specific, much more specific than I'm getting today, geared toward authors, geared toward supporting their publication, to kind of support them in their knowledge about what to do and how to handle their careers, essentially, and how to navigate this world that they're less familiar with, because obviously they've got their head stuck into their subject area, which of course is what we want them to do, but we also want them to get published, particularly where this goes. Yeah, these are the resources, and I'm going to bounce over to this in just a second. This is the RightsLink playlist that I was talking about on our YouTube page. This is the core playlist that I was talking about, actually, that we have that is available to you if you're stuck. And this is a link to that resource center that I've already showed you, just in case you want some ease. I'm going to navigate back really briefly here. If you're ever stuck on core or you have any questions, this is a great place to go. Go to the services location. There is so much information, user guides, support, etc. Our page is, I find, really great. If you want to point your authors towards signing up for workshops, and to my understanding, these are actually full. We have had over 1,000 people sign up for each of these workshops, which is really exciting, and is clearly there's a demand for this. But as of right now, these workshops I think are full. I'm looking to potentially do another set of these come the end of May, which hopefully is a useful thing. But this is the place that they would go and sign up. This is likely where you signed up for this webinar today, unless you had a direct link, no problem for that. But if you're ever looking for more librarian support, this is where we normally host it and do it. And often we are also posting, excuse me, a link to the YouTube page. Yes, and hopefully that is a useful thing for you. The last thing that I wanted to show you about Cambridge Core that I find really useful, if you're ever stuck, go to this help center. I use it. It is really excellent. If you're ever stuck, this is a really, really great place to kind of ask questions of that. This is, just to repeat, this is our YouTube page. Hopefully it's a useful thing for you. We've got a lot of great playlists. And the only thing I'm going to point out, this set of author workshops I just delivered in the fall and are basically going to be a bit of a repeat from what that was. So if you're not able to log into those workshops that I'm offering in April because they are full, you're more than welcome to use this. Just watch this. I mean, listen to it on double time for all I care. I'm not judging you. Do what you need to do. But I hope that's a useful thing. It's free. It's available. Use it as you please. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about our YouTube channel, which I hope is a useful thing. And the only last thing I wanted to mention, is this. We have what are called author services. And we find that with a number of authors, especially if English is not their first language, sometimes their writing is a little rough, and kind of unacceptable. We have this available. It is not free. It is not part of your agreement, unfortunately, but it is a really useful tool to support authors either with translation services, copy editing, even support in kind of making resources for even social media publication and output and outreach about their content once it's been published. Excuse me. So if you want a link to that, that's here. I'm not going to go over that page right now, but that is a useful thing. And this is what it covers: editing, translation, publication support, communication. Hopefully it's a useful thing. If you're also looking for a discount code, we are more than happy to give you that. Please be in touch with me. That's academictraining@cambridge.org. And we are happy to send you a brief discount code for coming and joining us today. Something else that we have also been doing, actually, it's gaining a lot of popularity. So normally this is done on an article by article basis, and the author has to pay for it. But because institutions are so keen in having their research published, we're working with institutions to formulate kind of I love to call it a punch card, a more of a token-based thing where the institution or the library pays a flat fee, and then in return, we give them, I don't know, say 6 tokens for them to hand out as they see fit, to have, I don't know, language editing done on one, say, 8,000 word paper. If that is of interest to you, please be in touch with your salesperson. We are more than happy to get that going for you. We're having a lot of these conversations right now because there's so much interest. But yes, please do let us know, because we want to make this the best that it can possibly be, and give authors the absolute highest possible chance of getting accepted for publication. So today, we've covered what open access and transformative agreements are, and then I've briefly given you a RightsLink overview, and then I've talked about some supports and promotional availability topics, etc., that are available to you, along with some resources, which I hope has been a useful thing for you. I am so happy to take questions now, and while that's happening, if you're listening, it would be great if you feel free to fill out this feedback form. Let us know how this went for you. Maybe you have more questions that you didn't feel like the session answered. Maybe you think you have a session in mind that you would love to have done for librarians alone. Do let us know. We are really keen to hear that. We want to know what's going on in your world so we can serve you better, and so this can be, I keep using the word symbiotic relationship, and I'm going to keep doing it. So this is a useful thing for you. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and best wishes with your TA. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to be in touch with us, as we are so more than happy to help you if you're stuck, because again, the goal is for this to be as successful as possible on both sides, both from publisher as well as institutions. Thank you all so much. Cheers.